Now, I understand that what I might be about to say is definitely a bit of a Dan Brown sort of thing here, but can you see the wolf in this picture? Maybe if we zoom in. Oh, we've got a plane overhead. Don't get anywhere near as many planes around this area as you do out towards Tetchell, Ellesmere, Maysby and Frankton. Can you see the wolf yet, my friends? Right, let's move on very quickly.
Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and today you're joining me on board good old Narrowboat Abel's Ark for another episode of The Rest of My Life, where we take a look at boat life and beyond. So today we're going to do a little bit of boating, a bit of wandering around in the countryside, and of course my friends, as always, look at some various fighter jets and stuff, both real full-size and little models. Okay, that's not irregular. Let's just get stuck in.
One of the things that I've really enjoyed with the boat recently is doing several short trips. So rather than doing any big travelling, which I haven't done any major trips for a good while at the moment, and you'll see in a future video where I move the boat around the corner at one point just a little way, and then a few days later I move it just around another corner, and then a few days later I move it just on again, just really making the most of different weather conditions and the moments of beautiful sun and stuff as it appears. As you can see, the fields and various crops growing here.
Friends, my granddad was walking down the canal to meet me, and over in the distance, just above the cows there, just behind the tree, and there we are, there he is. Oh, and there's a jogger coming up behind him, that'll probably catch him off guard.
I just wanted to draw attention here, as while me and my grandad were mooring up, we could hear the cry of a peacock, and amazingly, although this is a very poor video clip as I was trying to zoom in, this peacock was sat on top of the van, just calling out for, I don't know, almost a forlorn way I suppose, looking for a mate who may not be there.
As I mentioned earlier, we have got some fighter jets to take a peek at in just a moment. So before we get to that, I just want to say, I know that these recent videos have been a bit all over the place, as I've been trying to catch up with the hundreds and hundreds of video clips that I've got stored but not yet used on my phone. Now, don't worry if you think these videos have been a little bit light on the boat side of things, because I can assure you there's some very serious boat-heavy videos coming up very soon, so I hope you'll enjoy them. Anyway, let's get looking at planes.
Right, my friends, after that awkward 5 minutes of silence, we're on our way to the Cosford Model Show. So yeah, I'll see you there. Hello there, my friends. So you know that you're already onto a winner of a day when you're pulling up to a model show and you've got things like this. I'm not sure what scale this is, but the original Airfix kit actually came in 3,000 boxes, you know. It's a funny joke from Dan Brown again. In the museum, well, there's a model show going on. These are definitely good times, my friends.
One of the things that me and a friend invented a long time ago, I'm sure it's not invented outright as many people have done this for years, was the idea of crowing, where we would go on a walk, but we'd set a destination such as a local village and then try and walk in as straight a line as we could directly towards that point, which you can imagine was certainly dubious in some cases where we were hopping over fences that maybe we shouldn't have been hopping over, but we'll leave that all in the past. As what I like to do now is what I call forest gumping, where I basically just head out without any actual destination or route in mind. And, well, as you're about to see, sometimes it leads you in the broad area that you might expect to go, other times it doesn't. And, well, I've had a very enjoyable trip recently. So let's go and look at some stuff.
Right then. Rude. Right, ignore that sheep. That was unbelievable timing there. Anyway, right then, my friends. Today, it's not going to be much filming going on. No particular place I want to go, no particular destination, no time to be back or anywhere in particular, and no reason to worry about speeding up, slowing down, walking further, walking shorter. We're just going to head up here. I'm going to turn off up to the right-hand side and head towards the top of the racecourse, and then I'll decide when I get up there if I'm going to go over the back of the racecourse, further across the pint glass, or cut everything short and come back down to Oswestry and just really figure it out as I go. So my friends, I said that I was going to forest gump it, and before I've even reached the top of the racecourse I've decided I'm actually going to head more in that direction. Really no destination out there. Probably not going to make it to anywhere that's actually a real place with houses and stuff, and just wander around the roads and that. And yeah, it's been a long time since I've been in that direction. So I'll keep you posted at some point in the future. So then my friends, we're about 5 miles just over into the trip. I've chosen about the steepest 5 miles. We've been up and down, taking detours halfway up the racecourse and then deciding to back out of that. But as you can see, the sun's coming out. We've got this sort of hazy, misty appearance in the distance, and it's all good. Anyway, like I say, there's not much YouTube going on this walk, so I'm going to carry on. You get to a T-junction and every single option looks like it leads to effectively nowhere in particular, with these extraordinary great big triple carriageways here. This is certainly a mark of what I would call the proper countryside. Especially this, look at that. Beautiful, just a slight S-bend as it disappears there.
So ultimately the walk was just over 11 miles and took me just over 3.5 hours. As you can see here, there was some backtracking, and basically the reason it took me so long to walk that distance was because I chose such a ludicrously steep set of routes to go up instead of making it far easier on myself. And that's, I suppose, the nature of not having a plan. Just wanted to throw this random clip here as me and a friend were walking around one evening. This wasn't part of that bigger walk, just crossing over where they're working on restoring the railway line out of Oswestry here. Fascinating to see the progress over the last couple of years. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how it goes. Speaking of railways, let's end this video having a look at a smaller one. Great segue. So as some of you may know, I was originally planning to build a modular model railway layout on the boat, which would be split into miniature sections that were basically their own micro layouts that could then be joined together to create a larger layout of this size or bigger. Ultimately, my level of modelling was not up to the challenge, I'll say at this point, because there's so many points and junctions and stuff that a little series of modular layouts like that required. I just couldn't get a decent bit of run in for me trainers. I like to have just a nice smooth run so that you can just see the train just running with a load of wagons and stuff behind it. Now, ultimately, while I was planning and plotting the future of the model railway, I was also having my major wobble about whether I was going to sell the boat or not, which also helped me decide to build it as a 2x4 foot single layout like this, currently on my desk at my mum's house. So I'm not entirely certain what the plan or the location of this is going to be long term, but there has been a series of disasters, which I'm not going to bore you all with now. So I'll simply say there's loads of model videos and loads of work starting on the layout as of basically now that you can watch over on Sort of Interesting Trains, which is my other YouTube channel that you'll find a link to in the description below. Lovely.
So thank you very much for tuning in, my friends. I will now leave you unhindered to enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you've enjoyed this quick look at some moments of life in general from recent times. And well, please do check out some of the upcoming videos which are going to feature a lot more boaty stuff, we'll say that much. Anyway, please consider checking out all the links in the description. If you like these videos, please feel free to add me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's loads of links like that down there where I just post basically a lot of pictures of stuff like canals and scenery of the outdoors. Lovely stuff. If you'd like to help me out, then I don't have a Patreon or anything like that anymore, so please do consider checking out my short books available for the Kindle and my larger paperback, which is a collection of a few of the Kindle books together. Until the next time though, my friends, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Keep it interesting, keep it boat worthy, and of course, my friends, farewell.